Hey guys, it's Landon with RH. This is going to be the first video in a set of videos I'm doing that show how to amputate and recombine a final parcel map. It's a land subdivision map. Why on God's green earth would you want to amputate and recombine a final parcel map? Well, because the city surveyor told you you had to. So let me explain. This is a parcel we're working on down in Modesto. It's an industrial, it's like an urban infill project. It's an industrial site. And I've been working for the last couple of weeks with the city surveyor on the final parcel map. He's a super good dude. His name's Danny. We used to work together. He's a great guy, and he's been great through this whole process. He's been good to work with. And so him and I are kind of going back and forth. This is a challenging survey. Just there's a lot going on. It's an urban site, and there's a lot going on from a boundary and a land title perspective. What we're trying to do is take these 16 existing deed parcels and merge them, and then we're dedicating the city some infrastructure and some right-of-way. And there's a lot going on. So one of the main challenges that Danny and I were trying to work through is we have this area here. It's an old road. It's an old street corridor. It's not a street anymore, and it hasn't been for decades, but it's got a bunch of utility easements in it because it used to be a street. And so one of Danny's review comments was, he said, I just have a hard time, seeing what's going on here. There's a lot of lines overlapping, and he's not wrong. He's right. So he's like, we got to figure out what we're going to do. And him and I kind of went, it continues down here. Him and I kind of went back and forth, kicking around some ideas. We came up with what we think is going to be a solution. I don't know what happened, guys. This is there were some other details here that have been moved to another sheet, so we did have some details on the easements. But so here's the solution that Danny ran by me that I agreed. I thought it was workable. And this came after some back and forth. By the way, this is the way a good relationship between a reviewing surveyor and a submitting surveyor should work. So Danny said, hey, what if we make a new sheet? And on the new sheet, we have the parent parcel boundary and all the old parcel lines and the old parcel labels. He's like, but then we do a separate sheet that just has the parent parcel boundary with the easement information and a couple details. He said, I think that'll declutter and it'll make it easy enough for me to be able to see what's going on. I said, no problem. We can absolutely do that. So we've got a 4-sheet map. We're not touching the first 2 sheets. Those are basically our note sheets. What we're going to do is we're going to modify this map. We're going to add 2 sheets. So we're going to add sheet 5 and 6. Those 2 sheets are going to show only the easements and the outside boundary. These sheets are going to stay the same. Okay, 3 and 4. So they're going to show the old parcels, the old parcel labels, the parent parcel line, all the set mons, found mons, the right-of-way dedications, the well site parcel over here that we're giving to the city. But we're going to pull all the easement information off here to declutter. Okay, so what I'm going to show you, I hope, in this video is what we're going to do to make that happen is we're going to go in and we're going to split up what we call our base drawings. So our line work drawing and our anno drawings, our boundary line work and our boundary anno drawings. Now, I could try and do this with layering inside the drawing so we could put related groups of text and lines on their own new layers, and then we could toggle their visibility on and off in the viewports. I thought about that. I was going to do that, but that's not really the way we work here. We keep things in separate drawings in situations like that, and so I decided I'm not going to take that approach. I just want to let you know that is another approach that works. It's just it doesn't align as well with the structure that we have here. Okay, so what I want to do then is I want to go in basically and extract all of the annotations related to the easements into their own drawing. That's going to be an easement annotation drawing. And then we're going to go in and we're going to pull out all the easement line work out of the boundary line work drawing, and they're going to go in their own drawing. And that's going to allow us to have a sheet that just shows the parent parcel boundary and the easements. Okay, I think that's going to work. I think that's going to give Danny what he needs. We may add a couple details. We'll see how it looks. I'm probably going to have Cosette do the actual sheet layout tomorrow. One of the reasons I'm recording this is Cosette and James have been working on this with me, and I wanted to let them see what I was doing so they didn't have a gap. So let's go ahead and jump into the drawings. So this is the boundary anno drawing for the final parcel map. So what I want to do here is I want to pull out, there's a font display issue we get on some of our sheets. I want to pull out all the easement labels, okay? And so what I'm going to do, I think what I want to do is I actually am going to make a new layer in here. And we probably won't end up keeping it. So let's go into our layers here, because it's going to make it easier than trying to work with a selection set. And I'm going to make a new layer. So, I'm sorry, we call this survey boundary. Okay, so right now everything's on survey boundary text. I'm just going to make this survey boundary text easement, and I'm going to just say existing easement, just so it's clear. Okay, I'm going to make that a really bright color that I can't miss. Like that. Ooh, let's go with that bright pink. Okay, just because I want it to jump out on the screen. All right, and then what I can do is I can come in and I can grab these easement labels. Oh. Alright, I think there's another easement. Yep, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. Alright, then I'm going to just come over to my properties and I'm going to just drop those on that layer. Okay, and you can see they pop. Okay, let's see. I don't think we have any more easements. I think that's it. That's a new dedication. That's a new dedication. I think the rest of the easements we were able to get rid of. Okay, so these are actually extinguished now. So that's gone. That's actually gone. The attorney told us that's gone. We worked with the land attorney to get some of these old easements cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and just pop open this line work drawing real quick so I can remember to get rid of that line there. So this easement is gone. We're going to leave that open because we're going to have to get back in there in a minute. Okay, so now I've got these easement labels. I should be able to select similar. Okay, so we got almost all of them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to W block those out. Let's see here. We're going to go into boundary and we're going to go with this. So I'm just going to name it the same way as the boundary anno for the final parcel map, but we're going to say we shouldn't have all these dashes in here either. Easement. I'm actually going to shorten this up. Okay, so now we've got those labels out. Now we want to basically do the same thing with the line work. And that should be fairly easy because the easements should be on their own line. So let's see here. about this one? All right, so it's these two lines. Sorry. So what we can actually do is we can isolate that. I don't know where my layer isolate button went. I did something on my... I gotta fix that. I did something in my bricks CAD. So I'm going to invert that selection and freeze it. All right, so now we just have our, here's all our easement line work. Okay, so now remember this one, I think that one should be, that's weird. I'll have to look at that one. Grab these. Let me see here. We'll grab these. So I don't want this new stuff. I'll talk to Cosette. This new stuff should actually be in a different, should be in a design drawing. So let's W block this out. And we're going to call it boundary line work easement final. Okay, so now we should have what we need to do the new sheets. Okay, so we've got the line work out and we've got the annotations out. You can see that went fairly quick. So now I'm going to just go ahead, I'm going to just roughly set up the first sheet drawing in a separate video so you guys can see how that works, and we'll let Cosette finish it up.